Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and you're watching my review for Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic, Chapter 209. Um, I'm going to try, this might not be quick, I'm going to try and make it quick just because I'm enjoying my time off. So, I'm not exactly in the review-making mood, but I saw that the chapter came out at this strange time of the week, so I figured I'd review it. Uh, duh. But, yeah, there's this chapter kind of just picks up where the last one left off. Alibaba is having this talk with Komei, and Komei is telling him about their plan to unify the world and how they're pretty much going to get rid of every country's individuality so that they become the same as the Ko-Empire. And the the first part of this chapter is the main part of the chapter, and there's just a lot of text. And it was like Madaka Box or Bakuman or Death Note or something. And I just personally I didn't care about it, but I'll talk about it anyway because it's serious stuff they're talking about and it's important. So I'll talk about it. It kind of started off with this idea that people can't coexist without having conflicts, which is true. I mean, they can't. People can't. There's no way that every single person in the world is going to be able to live agreeing with everything and every action that other people do and take. And it's everyone's going to have an argument every once in a while, and people are really stupid. They just are. So a lot of people are going to turn to violence, and some people won't even need to be an argument. Some people will just resort to violence just because they like well, crime. Crime exists, right? So yeah. There's some people who won't stop, um, and people are just stupid, and they can't coexist without conflict. So they're right in that regard. And Kome even goes as far as saying that humans themselves are inclined towards violence. And we see this picture of Kashin when he says that. And I'm a psych minor, and I remember something about this coming up in one of my psych classes. I think Freud had some type of theory about aggression and how humans are just biologically wired to be aggressive. I remember something like that coming up. So this is like a real concept. It's not some weird belief that Kome and Cohen have. It's actually a real thing. Um, and the gist of what he ends up talking about is that humans they just end up destroying themselves. And he uses Baobad as an example, and he says that the people in Baobad, they fought each other for their wealth and for their goods and other things, and you can thank the Fog Troop for that. I mean, even if the Fog Troop wasn't formed, other people would have done it too because those people were desperate. Even the people outside the Fog Troop, when Sinbad first showed up and he was going to stop those people from invading that one guy's home, then he saw the woman with her baby and how it was starving and it was really thin. He just let them all go and take whatever they needed. So even without the Fog Troop, they still would have been stealing each other's wealth and goods and everything. Um, and I think there was a reference to Mogamet at some point during the speech as well. I think he was talking about how Mogamet said that the magicians and the Goi would never understand each other. And Kome is saying, no, it's not that the magicians and Goi don't understand each other. It's that humans in general don't understand each other. All of them are like that. And Kome states that the Ko, they want to unify the world, but that's not their only goal. They don't just want to stop there. They also want to erase from history the fact that the world was once separate. They want to rewrite the past pretty much. And that's I think that's going a bit too far. I mean, it kind of just makes them sound like cliche villains who want to take over the world and control it, and just not let like they're dictators, kind of. Well, not I guess not really cliche. Well, kind of. I mean, they sound like dictators pretty much, like crazy dictators. And you would think that if what they're doing is so good, then they wouldn't need to create all these schemes to try and make people forget about how things used to be. So should be able to think back and say, wow, things are so much better now. But they don't. They want people to forget about how things used to be. So that kind of makes you think, like, maybe your plan isn't as good as you think it is. But I mean, Alibaba doesn't really do a good job of getting that point across. He does try, but he even he tries to fight back, but he's not really doing a good job. And I think Kome brought up the point once how like all the different contradictions the world has, all the problems it has, and one of the things he brings up is the whole irrational system of slavery. And Alibaba says, hey, well, why are you saying slavery is bad when you're the one who introduced it to Baobab in the first place? And Kome says, that's true, but our system of slavery is not irrational, it's much better. Slaves are freed after 5 years of service, and he used this he talked about downward social comparison, which is another psychological concept. It's when people are able to look at someone who is worse off than they are, and therefore just be able to think more highly of themselves. Like they might feel bad about what's going on in their lives, but then they see that there are people who are worse off than them, and then they feel better about themselves. So he's saying, the slavery system also helps with that. And there aren't any rebellions or anything like that. Plus, the slaves themselves are freed after 5 years. So he's trying to say that Kobe's trying to say that slavery under the Ko Empire is not a bad thing, because they do it the right way. Right? And Alibaba still says that it's not a good idea, but Kome is telling him the only reason you're saying that is because you've never tried anything before. What we're doing, we're trying something that no one else has before. You can sit there and cry about how messed up the world is, but in the end, you've never actually done anything to try and change the foundations of the world, right? So, and now by saying stuff like that, it kind of just makes Alibaba shut up. I mean, not really. He does end up saying stuff in the end, but for a little bit, he's just kind of like he couldn't really say anything back. And Cohen comes in, and he's asking like, "Oh, how'd your conversation go?" And he's like, "Well, I've kind of my views have changed slightly. Slightly, I understand what you're saying now." So he's kind of like he realizes that he's been beaten in this argument, but and then he kind of just tries to get one more jab in there, saying that instead of keeping all this stuff secret and hiding it all, you should convey your feelings, convey your goals to the people that you're ruling over. That way, they can actually look forward to this future that is supposed to be better. Because right now, they don't know that they're supposed to be looking forward to the future. Right now, they're living in the present and focusing on the present without realizing that there's this future that they should be looking forward to. So, you know, he says that they should be doing that. And these guys are around and saying, like, oh, how dare you talk that way to Prince Kome? And Cohen's like, hey, that's pretty shameless of you. Do you realize what kind of situation you're in right now? And, Alibaba kind of realizes that, he's got two co-princes right there, plus a bunch of other people. He's in the enemy base, surrounded, alone. He could die there. If they wanted to kill him, they would be able to do it very easily. All right, and he starts to realize his position, but then Cohen kind of just flips things around and says, "You know what, Alibaba? I want you to become my right-hand man. I want you to help Kome. I want you to cut all ties with Sindria and Sinbad. I want you to swear fealty to me," which is pretty much saying he wants Alibaba to be faithful to him and loyal to him. And he tells Alibaba that if you do all of that, then I guarantee that you will get full authority in Baobab. He will get your power back. And we all know how important Baobab is to Alibaba. Um, and this is a real tempting offer, but I highly doubt he's going to do it because all of his friends are still in Sindria. Cutting ties with Sindria is like betraying all the people who have helped him in the past, and the Ko have not really done anything to help him, so why would he betray his friends just to get power back in Baobab? He cares a lot about Baobab, but I don't think he's willing to betray his friends to get that, especially since this is a shonen series that puts a lot of emphasis on friendship and bonds. So he's not going to accept this deal. Um, if he does, I'd be incredibly shocked. I just don't see that happening at all. And once the others find out about that, Morgiana would slap some sense into him. Toto would slap some sense into him. Oba would slap some sense into him. All the other guys would slap some sense into him. It just wouldn't work. No. Just no. He's not taking this deal. But I'm looking forward to the backlash of saying no. Um, if he says no, those other guys are going to be going to get mad again. Like, oh, how dare he turn down Cohen, you know? Prince Cohen, I guess. I guess he's still oh, he's like the Commander General. Yeah, so I guess they refer to him as Commander General. Who cares? Who cares? The point is, I'm looking forward to what'll happen once he says no. I think Cohen will just let him go, to be honest. Because in the end, what they're there for is to meet up with Sinbad anyway. Alibaba's supposed to be his guide or something to meet up with some meet whatever. Then not Alibaba. Aladdin's going to tell them all the Almatoran stuff and all that. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, the backlash isn't gonna. There's not going to be much backlash from this either. He's not going to be making many friends with those Co-Empire guys, but they don't really matter. Cohen's the one that really matters. So then Komei and Kogyoku, you know, all the guys, all the Ko and Haku guys and girls. But you know, that's it for the chapter. I'm just rambling now. This is actually shorter than I thought it'd be. I thought it'd be like 16 minutes, 14 minutes, something along there. But I'll just end the review here. Overall, I'll give the chapter a 7 out of 10 because, like I said, it was really wordy at times. I liked the ending, but it was really wordy throughout, and I had to like read it through a few times just to like keep focused and not to get the focus I needed to actually understand what they were talking about. Because in the end, I just didn't really care that much. But and that's that's a personal problem, not a problem with the chapter. But even then, it's still like they're talking about problems that they'll talk about real world problems. Really, I mean, it was important stuff, like I said, and the real world stuff, real theories and everything. I guess I'll give it a 7.5 then, because it was way too wordy. Even if the message was good, it was still way too wordy. But yeah, I'll give it a 7.5. Why not? Why? Yeah, why not? 7.5 out of 10. But that's it for now, you guys. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on Saturday, Sunday when Kuroko and Magi, the Kingdom of Magic, come out. See you guys next time.